I'm Anita, 28. Standing in my parents' living room, the air thick with tension, I look at my family sitting across from me. Their faces are a mix of guilt and desperation, and I know this is the moment of reckoning. It all started a few months ago. I'm a nurse at a busy hospital, and one day, during my long shift, my phone buzzed on the metal counter at the nurse's station. The fraud alert notification cut through the steady beep of the monitors in the ICU. I was exhausted, my eyes burning after 12 hours on the job, but when I tapped the screen, my heart dropped. There was an unauthorized charge of $7,250 for 5 airline tickets to Bali. As I scrolled through the transaction details, I saw the names. My parents, Henry and Olivia Miller, my brother Ethan, his girlfriend Lily, and Lily's friend Maya. My name was nowhere on the list, and to make it worse, they'd used my credit card. Just a week before, at our family dinner, Mom had casually said, "The tickets are expensive. If you can't afford it, it's better you stay behind." I'd swallowed my pride and nodded, not telling them that after covering Ethan's car repair last month, my savings were almost gone. That night, I was devastated. I returned to work, trying to focus on my patients while holding back tears. Dr. Thompson, a kind-hearted doctor at the hospital, saw the pain in my eyes but didn't say much. He'd seen this before, me coming back from family gatherings looking defeated, throwing myself into work. But this time, I decided to take action. I called the credit card company, locked my account, and filed a dispute. The representative assured me it was fraud and that they'd handle it. After that, I changed every password I had, from my banking apps to my email accounts. I felt a bit of relief, but I knew it was just the beginning. Within an hour, my phone started buzzing non-stop with missed calls and frantic texts from my family. Dad was furious, saying they were going to miss their flight. I silenced my phone and focused on my patients. I realized then that I'd always been the reliable one in the family, the financial safety net. Every time there was a bill or an emergency, they'd come to me, and I'd always given in. A few days later, the bank called. The fraud specialist, Mr. Davis, told me that the authorized user account for those purchases belonged to Ethan. I was shocked. I'd removed him as an authorized user 2 years ago when he moved out. According to the bank, he'd reactivated the account 4 months ago using my login credentials. It wasn't a spur-of-the-moment thing. It was months of planning and deception. When Mom called again, I put her on speaker. The rain was pattering against the window as she said, "This has gone on long enough. Your father and I have been trying to reach you." I was calm as I replied, "Is this what we're calling fraud now? A misunderstanding?" Dad tried to dismiss it, saying these things happen in families, but I wasn't having it. Ethan claimed he meant to ask me first, and Lily said I was ruining everything out of jealousy. I then asked Mom how long she'd known. After a long silence, she said they assumed I was aware when Ethan mentioned borrowing it for small things. I was filled with anger. They'd taken advantage of me for years, and now they were trying to make me feel like the bad guy. My family's manipulation didn't stop there. Mom called my supervisor, saying I was having a mental breakdown from overwork. When I went to the supervisor's office, she showed me the email. I was furious, but managed to keep my composure, telling her my performance reviews were excellent and my patient care was uncompromised. Back home, I started checking my accounts regularly, and I found that my emergency fund had dwindled by almost $4,000. There were automatic transfers I'd never authorized. I realized they'd been stealing from me little by little for years. I started keeping meticulous records of every loan, every gift, and every unauthorized charge. One morning, I found a coffee cup with my name on it at the nurse's station. Underneath was a note from Dr. Thompson saying, "Some family trees need pruning to stay healthy." That small act of kindness gave me the strength to keep going. That evening, Dad came to my apartment. He said Mom sent him to reason with me, but I told him it all went out of hand when they watched Ethan steal from me and said nothing. He tried to offer a solution, saying Ethan would pay back half, but I laughed. I told him I was done being the one who always gave. The next day, I received a message from Ethan's ex-girlfriend, Sarah. She said Ethan had done the same to her, and that she had records to prove it. With her help and my own records, I prepared an invoice for the $9,540 they'd stolen from me. I sent it to my family, including Aunt Grace, who managed the family trust. While I was on a weekend getaway, the family chaos erupted. When I returned to work, Dr. Thompson told me that Ethan had been telling everyone I'd doctored the financial records. But Sarah posted additional evidence in the family group chat, and many relatives started to see the truth. 5 of them even contacted me privately to express their support. The bank also called Ethan for an interview about potential fraud. Dad lost his consulting privileges at his former firm, and Lily started a social media campaign about how I was ruining the family. But I didn't care. I was finally standing up for myself. Now here I am, in this living room, facing them. I take out a leather portfolio, my graduation gift from Dad, and lay out the evidence on the coffee table. This is 8 years of financial manipulation, I say calmly. Ethan's car repairs, Lily's shopping debts, and Dad's property tax you couldn't cover last year. I tell them I've found a new apartment they don't have keys to, and that I've refinanced my nursing school loans without their signatures. Mom looks pale, saying I can't afford it on my own, but I assure her I can. I stand up and take out my old house keys, placing them on the table. I'm done being your A-team, I say. Family is about respect and boundaries, and you've never given me that. Ethan finally confesses that he used my card without permission for months, and Lily admits she knew about it. Dad nods, unable to meet my eyes. I pick up my portfolio and walk towards the door. Dad calls after me. Will we see you again? I pause and say, that depends on whether you want a daughter or a bank account. 3 weeks later, I heard that Ethan was facing potential fraud charges. Dad showed up at my new apartment one evening, saying he was sorry for enabling it all. The following month, I received a certified envelope with a check for exactly $9,540. Now, 3 months later, my new apartment is filled with light and color. I've painted a beautiful landscape and hung it on the wall. My phone chimes, and for the first time in a long time, I don't feel anxious.
Dr.
Thompson texts me, asking how my new place is. I send him a photo of my plants on the balcony. I'm also leading a financial literacy workshop for new nurses, sharing my story. I've met a wonderful guy, Jake, and we're planning our next date. And as I stand on my balcony, watching the sunrise, I know that freedom is about finally being seen and respected. I wonder if forgiveness is necessary, or if moving forward without looking back is the best way to heal.